Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to head to the Canberra Australia Lifeline book fair, which is a book fair that raises funds for our mental health telephone support line, and for other mental health supports other than the telephone line. And so we hit this book fair every year, 3 times a year. They usually have it on 3 times per year, and we get about $250 worth of books. And so all the books you can see behind me, as well as there's a wall that you can't see over this way. All these hundreds of books are thrifted. We don't buy anything new, and that's kind of how we fuel our book addiction. So I'm gonna maybe do a little bit of footage. I'm usually wary of taking footage where there's tons of people around because I don't want to accidentally film people who don't want to be filmed. So I'll try and take some footage of the books as I'm browsing through. It's like a giant warehouse filled with thousands upon thousands of books, and we'll see what we find. All right, here we go. So we are back from the book fair, and we got about $210 worth of books this year. So we were trying hard to stay as close to the $200 mark as possible, but we did pretty well because I'm basically looking at like this epic pile next to me. So I'm not about to go through the whole pile with you all because that would be extremely boring, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what I got and why we go. Starting off with my husband's book. So as you can probably tell, from the eclectic collection behind us. I don't know if you're actually close enough really to these books ever to see any of the titles, but basically you can see this really pretty section right here. Those are all my Jodi Picoult books. I absolutely love that author. And then over there is like Harry Potter and stuff like that. My husband, on the other hand, has like biographies, mostly nonfiction, a lot of like just classics in terms of books he likes. So he got, let me try and see, like the world of thought in ancient China, and like, yeah, books like that I can't even name. So the Popish Plot. We have very different tastes in books. So 3 Plays, John Webster. So yeah, so he got piles and piles of those kinds of books. Then for my books, what I get at the bookstore is usually like bestsellers of, so I like fiction, so bestsellers. I've been doing a lot of like psychological thrillers over the past year. That seems to be the latest thing that I like. So when I originally started going to these book fairs like 10 years ago, we had authors that I was looking for, and so it would like help me complete some of the collections that I had. And then I was very into romance and chick lit for a while, and so I had those. And then it was just random bestsellers, and then this past year it's become a psychological thriller. So I definitely go through phases. And on the last day of the book sale, they have this deal where in the last 3 hours of the book fair, you can fill a whole bag, so grocery shopping bag, for $20. So that's what we normally do. So we get a good haul of usually like $100 or $150 on like the first day of the fair, and then we go at the end of the fair and then fill a bunch of bags, and that's where most of the books, why we have so many books, because we don't buy like, you know, each book individually, we get them by the bag. So books at the fair are typically like $3 to $5 for most books. And then obviously for us, because we get most of the books through the bag deal, most of them end up being about $1. So because we end up getting books for $1, basically, whatever we can fit in our bags, we do tend to grab some randoms on the way out to checkout. So for example, there was the cookbook section right outside the checkout area. And so we like this just for like, you know, dinner inspo. And so definitely we'll be making a bunch of these recipes and probably posting them on this channel. So there's just a whole lot of cookbooks that I got that just look really good for some food inspo and dinner inspo. So I got a stack of cookbooks. I got things for basically gifts for people. So I'm at that age where everyone seems to be getting pregnant and having their first child or second or third. And so I got a whole bunch of baby, first baby books. I get baby books to give as gifts for people. So I got a bunch of baby books, and so I particularly do this for my friends just because I have made baby books for my friends before, because I love scrapbooking. But for those that aren't, you know, keen on scrapbooking, like there's so many things that you can get that scrapbook for you, and they basically do all the work and just insert the pictures. So I got a bunch of those baby books for gifting. Again, some more more cookbooks. So 5-ingredient cookbook, favorite family meal cookbook, 101 ways with chicken cookbook, pasta perfect cookbook, and a slow cooker recipe cookbook. And so again, this is all just in my one singular. So I got everything I've shown you thus far in terms of cookbooks and baby books and whatnot. That's all from my one bag. I got all of this for $20, and I'm not even halfway through the bag yet. Alright. I might grab the bag here so you can see it. Alright. Then, to get into my bestsellers / random fiction books that I got, I'm not going to bore you with it. I'm just going to show you what I got because I obviously haven't read these. And if you do like watching this kind of thing and want to know, like, you know, what books I like and why and whatever else, I'm happy to do book hauls because I have read most of the books around me, but I obviously have not read any of the ones that I'm about to show you, so I can't comment on them. So I got this first book, and I might just say that for every book I'm about to show you, what I do when I'm at the book fair, there are some books that I can just tell that I'm going to love, but what I do is I look all of them up before I buy them on Goodreads, and it has to have, for me, basically higher than a 3.5 out of 5 rating on Goodreads. I just usually try and read a couple of the reviews and see whether or not people say it was a page turner, which I like. They need to be riveting. Or if they say that, you know, it looked like the author was confused, it really, you know, it was a struggle to get through. As soon as I see those kinds of words, I tend, unless there's something about the book that's pulling me in, I tend not to get them. Because I think there's nothing worse than devoting your time reading a book that ends up being disappointing, because if you're like me, I'm one of those people who I can't start a book and then not finish it. And so there's, you know, when I have a book that's just terrible, there's nothing more disappointing than having to like dredge your way through. So as soon as I see, like, you know, it was a tough to you know, tough to get through the book, I'm like, no, putting it down. So, all right, so I got Susan Lewis, Too Close to Home. And apparently from when I looked it up on Goodreads, it's something to do with bullying. So that one looks like it's going to be good. Then I got Marian Keyes, The Break. So I've read a lot of hers when I go on cruises and stuff like that for like light chick lit type reading. And I usually fly through her books. And so they had a whole row, like rows and rows of Marian Keyes books. So looks like it was popular. Then I got Lionel Shriver, Big Brother. And so this one, it's not the book itself that pulled me in, but this author is the author of one of my absolute favorite books, We Need to Talk About Kevin. That book has haunted me for like 10 years. Like, it was just so well written. Something about it, yeah. Oh, and it even says it actually at the top there. We Need to Talk About Kevin. You probably can't see that because it's in white, but yeah, it was just a really, it's one of those books that if people ask me what my favorite book is, that's like one of the first thing that comes to mind almost always, because that book, something about it just struck a chord with me. That one in 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. I just utterly adore that book. Then I randomly got this book only because it just said it was incredibly touching on the front, and I just something about this person's story just really I find inspiring. So this is Susan Boyle's The Woman I Was Born to Be. And so I looked it up on Goodreads and everyone seemed to be pretty positive about it. And I just think that, I don't know, it's just, I think for so many people out there when they watched her on Britain's Got Talent, it just, I don't know, it gave so many people hope, I think. I think it was just like, you know, you could be whatever age and whatever place in your life and, you know, feel you look however you feel you look. But in a moment, things can just change for you. So I just found, you know, I've seen her in a few interviews and her description of, you know, she's just a girl that had a very big dream and yeah, and like, you know, look at where she's come from then to now. So I just wanted to read it and see what it was like, see what she says. This one looks really good. I hope it's good. It's called Mine by an author called Suzy Fox. And it's about someone who has a baby, but when they give her a baby, she doesn't think it's hers. And so it just looks really, I like psychological thrillers and it just looks really good. This one is My Everything by Katie Marsh. This one's about someone who's planning on leaving her husband, but then he has a stroke and she feels that she can't leave him. And it's just like apparently a page turner in terms of like the raw emotions that this family goes through. So, intrigue. I'm curious to read that one. This one is Becca Fitzpatrick, Dangerous Lies. This is about someone who's in witness protection, and the challenges of that. So, I don't know. Like I said, I've not read any of these books, so I'm not recommending any of these or saying that they've been like lifelong desires of mine. It's just, I just go and pick up books, because that's what I enjoy doing in my spare time, reading books. This one is called The Charm Bracelet, and someone has anonymously been sending her charms for her charm bracelet over a period of time, and it's a story of, I guess, whoever's sending her these charms. So, you know, deep, very deep book. And then last but not least in this bag, there is a book called Good Is Gone, about someone who whose daughter is kidnapped, and then someone shows up at their house claiming to be their daughter 8 years later. So, we shall see. So, this is just like a glimpse of what I got from the fair. If I were to keep talking, this video would never ever end. So, that is everything for the Lifeline Book Fair haul. So hopefully this is moderately interesting. If it's not, and everyone is like, nah, it's boring watching a girl show you a bunch of books and not comment on what they're like in the books, then I won't post this again. But I just figured I have people who comment on the bookshelf a lot, mostly on the aesthetic of the bookshelf and more that I've color coded the bookshelf as opposed to the actual books. But it's something I love. It's something that I thought I'd share with you all. And like I said, if this was moderately interesting and you want me to like talk about, you know, some of my favorite books, because I have this shelf of like ones that are my go-to for really good reads, of ones that I'd read over and over, or ones that are great for, you know, reading once but then that's it. There's definitely, I could easily do that. So if that's your kind of thing and you want to see something like that, feel free to comment down below and I will do another video like that. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to subscribe to the channel, usually what I do on this channel is thrift shop, so buying things secondhand. So other than books, I typically buy clothes. So if you want to see more of that, feel free to subscribe, and I post a thrifting video pretty much every week. And if not a thrifting video, it's some sort of shopping haul. I post twice a week. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.